Thank you. I'll say I share my colleagues' interest in seeing investment move from China to the Philippines. That's one of the things we want to see happen. That's one of the goals of policy. From my standpoint, that's why I'm backing the SAVE trade bill, the engagement with the Philippines on this trade initiative. I did want to make mention of a resolution which myself and Congressman Rohrabacher support, and that's House Resolution 352. And that resolution calls for a peaceful and collaborative resolution of the maritime dispute between what China calls the South China Sea and what the Philippines calls the West Philippine Sea. And the resolution calls for all parties of these territorial disputes to refrain from threatening force or using force to assert territorial claims. And the reason we think there is such an important opportunity to push this resolution and have it heard is because the entire diplomatic community, every country in the world, perceives this in the same way that the Philippines perceive it. Only China alone, perceives these waters as an extension of their territory. And they are out of step. And that's why multilaterally, I think, the United States and the Philippines and Indonesia and Malaysia and other countries in the region, Vietnam, can all work in tandem towards an international resolution that moves us away from the bellicose, use of force and rhetoric that we see, and sort of unites the international community in a resolution to try to resolve this without the aggressive behavior that we've seen on the part of China here. And I wondered, Dr. Campbell, if you'd like to make any additional comment on that.
Thank you very much again, and I would associate myself with the comments that you've made. And I've looked at both bills that you have submitted, one on the SAVE Act and also the second one that you have just suggested. And I just say on the first one, I think it's really something that we have to look at seriously. I think there's a lot here that I think both your body has to think about and we have to focus on as well. Let me just say, some have suggested that the South China Sea is none of our business. I would simply point out that by most measures, 50%, literally 50% of the global tonnage of shipping passes through the South China Sea every year, and by value, probably somewhere between a quarter and a third. So it's an artery in the global economy. And so the maintenance of peace and stability and how issues there are resolved are extraordinarily important to us. And I happen to believe, just as you have indicated, Congressman Royce, that in many respects how these issues will be discussed, how they will be resolved, in many respects is a 21st century case study on how the rules of the road will be established and maintained. And I think the United States, we are not a claimant. We are extraordinarily careful how we talk about these things. I appreciated Congressman Sherman's questions, but you will note we have a very clear set of statements that we make. We believe that there is a process underway. The United States believes that we can play a constructive role in this process. Ultimately, the peaceful resolution of disputes and finding a legal, internationally recognized framework for how to deal with these issues, we believe is in the best interests and preserves the interests of all those involved.